What is going on, guys? My name is Sean Barnard, and I'm back here on Doc Sports YouTube channel, here to give you some Week 2 Survivor Pool picks for the NFL. Before I get fully into it, I do want to mention that new clients can get $60 worth of member picks for free at the top of Doc Sports website under the free 60 account. So to make sure to check that out, that's docsports.com. Now to get right into it, we're coming off a crazy Week 1 in the NFL. We're talking about favorites were 9-6-1 outright, but just 7-9 against the spread. We saw both Super Bowl participants last year in the Rams and Bengals fall to a loss. We saw both number one playoff seeds in the Packers and Titans also pick up a loss. So a lot of mix up right off the beginning of the season this year. So moving on and getting right into picks, I do want to start off with my top pick of the week. I have the Rams over the Atlanta Falcons. Rams coming in as 10.5-point favorites. We saw the Falcons kind of overperform a little bit in Week 1. They lost 27-26 to the Saints. This is a team that I don't think is as good as that number indicates, a strong performance, but I think a little bit of a step back. They're pretty happy with that. And in contrast, the Rams are coming from the opposite end of the spectrum. We see this all the time with a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover for teams that coming from success need a little bit of a punch in the mouth to wake up. So I expect that to be the case. We saw 3 interceptions from Matt Stafford in Week 1. I don't think that will be replicated, and I think we can count on the Rams to come out with the victory in Week 1. Moving on to my second pick, kind of cut from the same mold, I have the Bengals coming over to the Cowboys. Listed as 7.5-point favorites, which I think is a generous line. The Bengals are just clearly the better team here. The Cowboys coming off a 19-3 loss to the Bucks. We saw Dak Prescott get injured, and frankly, that offense wasn't looking hot even before the injury. They practically gave away Amari Cooper this offseason and are reaping the results of it. So I don't think Cooper Rush is the type of backup to steer the team with the starter out. The Cowboys don't even seem to believe in him that much. This was a guy that wasn't even on their 53-man roster when the original cuts were made. So they obviously were willing to let teams around the league have a chance at it. So expect the Bengals to get back on track, prove the contender they can be, and come out with a better effort. Joe Burrow had 4 interceptions in the opening week against the Steelers, and the Cowboys are not the type of team to force that type of turnovers. So expect a better performance from Burrow and for the team to follow. Lastly, I'm going to go with the Broncos over the Texans for my third pick this week. Broncos 9.5-point favorites. Everybody had eyes on the Seahawks Broncos matchup in Week 1. Obviously, came down to the field goal. We're scared to put the ball in Russell Wilson's hands. Things are going to be different moving forward. Nathaniel Hackett has been pretty upfront, taking responsibility and pretty much been the butt of every joke this week. So I expect changes there, and I expect Russell Wilson to not even let it come down to a last-minute drive in this matchup. The Texans tied with the Colts in Week 1, 20-20. That's a terrific result for the Texans and something the Colts are going to be very disappointed in. This is a team that I think everybody expects to have a better chance at the number 1 pick than they do at the playoffs. So to come out with the tie is pretty impressive. But looking into that game, the Colts just started slow, came on hot at the end, but it was too late. They outscored the Texans 17-0 in the fourth quarter, and I think that's a sign of this. The Broncos are not going to let this chance slip away. Russell Wilson's debut in front of the home Broncos fans, and I expect him to capitalize on it. And building off that with one bonus pick, I do think the Seahawks are going to take a notable step back this week. To some extent, that was their Super Bowl, getting a chance to just spoil Russell Wilson's debut. That's what they wanted, and mission was accomplished. So they're facing off against the 49ers this week. That's another matchup that I see value in. A lot of these teams are good teams in need of a bounce back win, and that's really appealing when looking at a survivor pool. So I do like the slate of games this week. I think all 4 of those are pretty solid options. When transitioning to games that I think you're better off staying away from, I want to start off with the Raiders versus Cardinals. These are 2 teams coming off tough losses against respectable teams in the Chiefs and Chargers, who are also matching up this week. I think I could see this one going either way. I lean toward the Raiders getting the win, but something that I would just stay away from. Whoever loses this game is going to face some unfair national scrutiny and overreactions about their season going down the drain. When in reality, they've both had a tough opening 2 games, so stay away from that one. It'll be a good game to enjoy, so check it out, but don't stake your pick in that. Next up, I'm going with the Panthers and Giants matchup. This is another game I could see going either way. Baker didn't get his revenge on the Browns last week, and we'll be looking to overcome that. The Giants got Saquon back, and he looked pretty good in Week 1, so that increases the ceiling of their team. This is a matchup that I would just say stay away from. I think it's going to be one of the more boring NFL slates of the week, so let that one rock. And lastly, I'm going to go with the Chiefs versus Chargers, the Thursday night matchup. This is going to be a thrilling game to watch, but one that I could see going either way. Yeah, let that one rock. It's going to be a high-scoring affair, both offense. It's going to be a little bit of a litmus test for Justin Herbert as he faces off against the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. A ton of buzz about both these teams, both quarterbacks with something to prove. This is a game that could go either way. I lean toward the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs will get it done, but not something I'm comfortable to stake my survivor pool pick in. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll be back with you next week, and good luck this weekend.